Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I know some of you are still coming on, but I'm going to get started because I know time is valuable. So, thank you for coming to How to Lose Weight. I will make this video available later on to those of you who want it and request it. I can make it available for you. So, first of all, let me tell you a little about me. I have struggled with weight for over 30 years, and I had a lot of stress in my life. I eat to numb stress. I was an emotional eater. I ate when I was happy, when I was angry, when I was sad, depressed, lonely, celebrating. Food was my comfort. And I went from being 110 pounds when I got pregnant with my first child up to my highest weight at 330 pounds. 5 years ago, the stress and unhealthy lifestyle took its toll on me, and I had to take a medical leave from work. My cortisol levels, which if you don't know what those are stress hormones. My cortisol levels were through the roof from years of not looking after myself and putting everyone else first. 3 years ago, I ended up in the hospital when I was at my highest weight. Doctors at first thought I had pneumonia, but when the antibiotics didn't work and my oxygen levels went down to 60%, I was admitted to the hospital for 10 days and put on BiPAP. I was put on high doses of prednisone and remained on them for a year. Actually, it was just over a year. Once I got home from the hospital, I lost 30 pounds within the first few months because I was so scared of what had happened to me. And I lost that 30 pounds just by cutting out the garbage. Then I joined Weight Watchers and I lost some more weight. But I soon got tired of that. For one thing, I didn't like spending the money every week. And I didn't like having to go to the meetings all the time. I did lose weight and it was helpful. Then I quit going to Weight Watchers because I got tired of it, and I started to put some weight back on. So I went and saw a naturopath, and she put me on a low sugar, low carb diet, which was great and it was helpful, except that it wasn't sustainable. So if I went to a family function, I was that girl who couldn't eat this and couldn't eat that. And so I would have people saying, "Oh, can you eat this?" And it got really frustrating. And so I gave up on that as well. So I started putting the weight back on again. So fast forward to last summer, I started researching nutrition, and I came across Health Coach Institute's website. I knew in my heart that it was the direction that I needed to take. So I enrolled in September of 2018, followed the program as I was learning it, and started to notice how much more energy I had. I wasn't in as much pain as I had been in previously, and I was beginning to feel happier and not as lethargic. In February, I started getting deep into why I was always gaining the weight back and why I was keeping it on and what was causing the resistance. And then in March, I began to really completely embrace the program. And in 1 month, I lost 10 pounds. In total, I've lost 60 pounds. I feel better emotionally and physically than I have in a very, very long time. During our time together today, I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and these are designed to help uncover the challenges that you're having in your experience and what's not going well for you with your weight loss. Now, there's no wrong answers, so I don't want you to stress out. I just want you to relax and enjoy it. And if you want to talk further, you can let me know. And if you just want me to send you the list of questions so that you can delve into it deeper when you have some more time, let me know and I'll send the questions to you. So you can't mess this up. It's going to be fun and it's going to be easy. So let's say if I were to wave a magic wand, what would you want in the next 90 days? What would that look like? Feel free to comment below if you want. If you were to get that magic thing, what would it look like? What would you see? What would you feel? What would you hear? How would it make a difference in your life? And how would it make a difference in the lives of other important people in your life if you got this outcome? For me, I was grouchy because I was tired. And so having more energy made me not as grouchy, made me more able to focus and concentrate on the things that were bothering me. So if you could wave the magic wand and get what you wanted, how would that make a difference in your life, in the life of others? And what would having that do for you? And what's important about that? Because it's important for you to understand. You can say, yeah, I want to lose X amount of pounds, but you need to really understand and get to the root of what is important about that. So if you could get to your goal, what would that look like? What would unfold for you in your relationships? How would that look in your work, in your social life? How would that look with your finances? Again, when I was so tired and exhausted all the time, I was unable to really focus on our finances. I wasn't paying attention to how much was going in and out of the account. And we were eating more takeout and more processed foods, more easy, quick foods, which cost more money. So it was also affecting my finances, my health, and my well-being. So if you could have whatever it is that you're asking, that you would like to get, whatever your goal is, what else in your life would open up for you? What would you be able to do then that you can't do now? And what would be the best part of that? So now let's draw out the problem. What is keeping you from having that desired outcome right now? What is stopping you? What is holding you back? What part of you is saying that you can't have that outcome? And if nothing were to change today, how is that going to affect your life? Let's say in the next 6 months, in the next year, in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years. For me, if I had stayed at 330 pounds, I was having the breathing problems. I was having no energy, inflammation, exhausted. I would have continually spiraled down and down and down. And being in the hospital for a week was something that really clicked for me, and I realized that something had to change. So if nothing changes in your life, how is that going to affect you? How is it going to affect your future, your finances, your health and well-being, your relationships, your future potential? I quit work 5 years ago because my stress levels were too high. So now I'm on a path where I'm able to start working. Yeah, I'm not working outside of the home. And that's the beauty thing about the health coaching, is that I can do it in my home and around the hours that work for me. But I'm so much farther than I was 5 years ago. Now, many of us have tried many, many different programs, and I've given you a few. I've used Weight Watchers. I've used a naturopath. I've tried to do it on my own. I've done MyFitnessPal. I've done Noom, many, many programs. What has worked for you in the past? And I want you to think about that. And I want you to think about, what was it about that program that worked for you, and then think about why you decided to not continue with that program if it was working. The next thing I want you to think about is, are there any areas in your relationship to food that you get confused? Do you have any specific cravings? And if you do have cravings, I want you to pay attention over the next few days. If you do have cravings, when do they happen? How often do they happen? And pay attention to what you've been eating throughout the day. If you've watched my posts over the last few days, I did a 4-day energy experiment. And so the first day, breakfast and dinner was no protein, and only protein at lunch. And I got to tell you, when I didn't have protein, my cravings went through the roof. And it was all I could think of was chips and chocolate and junk food. And it became forefront in my mind. The second day, I had protein at breakfast and dinner and not at lunch. And the cravings hit me in the afternoon this time. The third day, I had animal protein all day long, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I wasn't even thinking about junk food. And I could not believe the difference that it made just by adding the protein with every meal. Now, I tried to do the vegetarian, plant-based proteins on Friday, but I have to be honest with you, I know it works for some of you, but it doesn't work for me. I don't like vegetarian protein. And so by lunchtime, my daughter was like, "Mom, I'm buying you lunch. You need to eat something," because I was brain fog. I couldn't concentrate. I need my protein. And I just obviously hadn't had enough on the last day of the energy experiment. So I want you to pay attention to what you crave and when you crave it and what you've eaten previously. And when you give into your cravings, how does that make you feel? Usually we feel really good in the moment, but then later on, our body suffers from it and our mind suffers from it, because then we beat ourselves up because we've fallen off the wagon one more time. And then we get stressed out, we get overwhelmed, and then we get down on ourselves. And I want you to look at the stress level in your life right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, where is your stress level? One of the things that I also found out was when you are living in a stressed out state, especially when you're eating, your body won't digest your food properly. So if your body can only be in a fight or flight mode or digestion mode, that's just the way our bodies have been made to work. So let's say you sit down and you have some lunch and a lion comes along and your body is not going to say, "Oh, I need to digest that lunch." Your body is going to go, "I need to get away from this lion." And so all the energy is going to go to your mind and your arms and your legs so that you can escape from this lion. It's not going to digest that food. Your body doesn't know the difference between running from a lion and everyday stress. It just knows stress is stress. So if you're sitting down to eat and you have a high stress level, you're not going to digest your food. Typical sign of stress eating is when you gain weight, mostly around the middle. So if you look at me, I have skinny arms and lower legs. My ankles and my wrists look like a skinny person's. But all of my weight, most of my weight, is around the middle. And that is caused from stress eating. And then our bodies don't absorb the nutrients properly either. One of the ways to help yourself not be stressed out at a meal is to just take some deep breaths. So it's like tricking your body into thinking that you're relaxed. So like when you're sleeping and when someone's in a deep, deep sleep, they're breathing deeply. And so that's kind of the breathing that you need to do before you eat in order for your body to think that you're not stressed out. And I have to tell you a story. My husband was working at a job for 3.5 years, and it was extremely stressful. And they were working lots of hours and dumping more and more things on him all the time. He gained around 50 pounds. The last 3 months, he's been at a new job where he's not working all kinds of hours and he's not under a lot of stress, and he has lost 22 pounds. Nothing has really changed in his diet other than he's not having the cravings that he was having before, and he's not stressed out. And so in 3 months, he's lost 22 pounds without even trying. Another trick is to make sure that you chew your food more, because your digestive enzymes are in your saliva. And the more you chew your food, the more the digestive enzymes break down the food. And therefore, when it goes through your body, you're going to absorb the nutrients more. And your body's not going to have to work so hard to digest that food. Now, I know that you might think, well, hey, if my body's working hard, then that's exercise. But it's not exercise. It's not helping you. Instead, it's just going through your body, and you're not absorbing the nutrients that you need to be absorbing when you chew your food more. So is there anything that you do for you want to be doing for yourself, but you're not doing for yourself? So as we're talking about relieving stress and learning to relax, it's also important to learn to relax, to allow yourself to relax, and to give yourself some time to pamper yourself, to unwind. Now, an important thing to note, procrastination is not relaxation. Procrastination actually causes stress. So I don't know about you, but for me, if I've got a lot of things on the go, then a lot of times I just feel like I just want to do nothing. And so I have a list of things I need to do, and I put them off and put them off. Well, really, putting that stuff off isn't relaxing, because in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking there's something I need to be doing. And I begin to feel guilty for not doing what I need to do. So instead of procrastinating, do those things that you need to do and allow time in your schedule to relax, so that when you're relaxing, you're actually relaxing. You're actually taking time for yourself. And if you're not relaxing, what is getting in the way of that? What is the story that you're telling yourself that it's not okay to relax? What is the story you're telling yourself that it's okay to be busy, busy, busy all the time? Because that's your story. Nobody else is telling you that that's the way to live. So the next thing, let's look at a program that works well. So we were talking about different weight loss programs that have worked for you. Well, one of them, there's 3 legs to a good program. So let's look at, like, there's 3 legs on a stool. You have that 3-legged stool, and if you remove one of the legs, then the stool's going to fall over. And that's the problem with so many weight loss programs. So an ideal program has the right system, the right steps, the right accountability. So step 1, you need to set yourself up for success, because if you don't have those conditions set up, let's say buying groceries, if you don't have the groceries you need, you're not going to eat the food that you need to eat. So one of the things that's important is to set yourself up for success. Number 2 is to eat the foods that work for your unique body, because everybody's body responds differently. For me, if I have a lot of carbs, then I start getting really tired, and I feel it, especially now because I haven't been having as many. Then if I have too many, I feel it. Oh my goodness, a few weeks ago, I had Dairy Queen, and I hadn't had it in a long time. I hadn't had that much sugar in a long time. And after I had it, I felt so gross. So that's an important thing to keep in mind, is what works for your body type doesn't necessarily work for somebody else's body type. So the trick is to find out what works for you. And that was one of the reasons why I also did the 4-day energy experiment. The third thing is to change your behaviors, change your habits. Change your habits into positive behaviors that last. And that's kind of the problem sometimes with some programs, is they have the first two steps, the steps in the system, but they don't have the accountability, the long-lasting accountability that helps you make those changes so that you don't need to continue spending the money for these programs year after year after year. The important thing is to make the change for you and change your habits, change your behaviors so that now it becomes normal. One of my clients wasn't eating healthy, and we did a 90-day program together, and we implemented small steps into her lifestyle to add healthy food. And by the end of the 90 days, by the end of the 90 days, that had become her new normal, was to eat the proper foods. She knew what groceries to buy. She just instinctively bought them, and she instinctively ate the food. And it became a new habit for her. And that is the important thing, is to change your habits. So let's, sorry, I lost my place. Let's look at, again, if nothing changes today, what is your life going to look like 6 months from now, a year from now, 3 years from now? It's really, really important to get a grasp on that. Now, if you're interested, you can do an experiment yourself over the next 4 days, and only for 4 days. That's all I want you to do it for. Over the next 4 days, keep track of your food. And don't change your eating habits, just keep track. But what I also want you to do is to track how you feel right after the meal, half an hour after the meal, or 2 hours after your meal. If you're feeling tired, that's really important to mark that down. And if you find that you have more energy, mark that down, because being aware of what your food is doing to you and for you is one of the key things to losing weight. So if you feel crappy by, I don't know, eating toast in the morning. One of my clients said, "You're not going to take my toast and peanut butter away from me." And I said, "No, I'm not taking anything away from you that you don't want to take away." And after a few weeks, she said, "You tricked me." And I didn't do it, but she started being more aware of the things that bother her. And she was finding that the toast and peanut butter was making her feel gross. So now she's done some more experimenting and has found that the main problem was actually the peanut butter. And it would make her feel bloated and tired. So she's cut back on her peanut butter. She still has it once in a while, but every time she has it, she doesn't really like it. So now she's looking into some alternatives, some sugar-free nut butters. She recently tried some almond butter and she loved it. So these are the things that are important, just to keep track of what you eat and how it makes your body feel, and then to be able to move on from there. Now, it's 10:25, and I said I would keep it as close to half an hour as I could. So I just want to wrap up. But If you're interested in the questions that I've asked so that you can delve deeper into your why and delve deeper into what's holding you back, let me know and I can send you the list of questions. And if you're interested even in looking further into one of my programs, let me know. I have some 14-day group program, which is great for people who just want to get a taste of what the programs are like. And group programs are great because then you can feed off of each other. It includes the meal plan, shopping list. We tailor the diet based on your wants and your needs. And what else? Free Facebook group, use of my app. And then you would get daily motivation, inspiration, and challenges and videos from me during that 14 days in the Facebook group. So if this is something you're interested in right now, it's on special for $49 a person. And if that doesn't interest you, that's fine. But I would love for you to comment below or send me a quick message, because I do have a free ebook to offer you, How to Lose Weight When Nothing Else Works. And that's no obligation. That's yours to keep. And I hope that it helps you. If you're interested in talking to me further, I'd love to have a free conversation with you, either through video chat or over the phone. I offer a free 1-hour session with anybody who's interested to talk more, or even to just pick my brain with some questions that you have and need answers to. If there's areas that you're confused, I'd love to help you out. I'd love to chat with you. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. And be sure to either comment below or contact me and I will send you the free ebook. Have a great day and thanks so much. Bye-bye.